Boom. Here we are. Hello, everyone.
Hey.
Thank you for tuning in to Through the Garden. Today is April 30th, 2024. And let us commence the celebration of the great city of Chicago. We now have a winning football team. We now have a winning baseball team, a first place baseball team, mind you. We got a hockey team that cares. We don't need anything else, boys. We're here. We're back.
We are.
Oh man, the meatball is back out.
The meatball's back. The meatball's back. I've been waiting. I was mad at the Bears all off season because I didn't want to talk about it because I was so excited for baseball. But now that the event has occurred and the man is ours, Caleb Williams is our quarterback. Rome Odunze is our wide receiver. They love each other. Claws up. I'm a claw guy. Claws up.
Okay. All right. I'll bite. Bite. I'll bite.
But seriously, was that not that was a very special moment for the city of Chicago. And we have the stupid thing about the draft every single year. It's always the Bears Super Bowl. But Jordan, didn't it feel different this time?
Yeah. First and foremost, welcome back, Tommy, Alex, to your excitement about the Bears. I think I was trying to distinguish throughout the offseason. There's plenty to be upset about the Bears when it comes to non-football related stuff. But when you take out the social media stuff that was Williams versus Justin Fields, when you look at every move Ryan Poles has done, it culminated in last Thursday when not only did he get his quarterback in Caleb Williams, who the second he was drafted pretty much dispelled every single false narrative about his character that was said about him not wanting to come to Chicago, about him being high maintenance, about him being a prima donna. We saw that go by the wayside very quickly. And it was in part because of what they did at 9, thanks to their former general manager, Ryan Pace, repeating a familiar mistake that he's done multiple times in taking a quarterback after signing a quarterback. But because the Falcons did that, the Bears were able to get Rome Odunze to pair with Caleb Williams. We heard the excitement between the two before the draft, and then what everyone wanted to happen happened, and it just signaled a new chapter for Chicago Bears football on the field.
Claws, Alex. Claws. You know you want to.
Oh, boy. Listen, if they go out there and they start winning next year, I'm going to be clawing all the time. And you look at this draft and you can say, hey, you came into this draft with 4 picks. You eventually traded up to get 5. But if you hit on the first 2, everything else is pretty much gravy at this point, though I feel pretty confident that the crocodile punter is going to be an asset for us. I really liked that pick. I know some people didn't, but punting matters no matter how good of an offense you are, because there are situations where it's crucial. And the punting for the Bears last year was bad. It was straight up bad. But anyway, we can get into the punting later, but with the drafting of Caleb Williams, it was the thing that we all sat and waited for. We all knew it was going to happen. There was no mystery. There was no Luck versus RG3. Caleb Williams was the consensus number 1 overall pick in the NFL draft. The Bears, we knew, were taking the quarterback once they traded away Justin Fields. So that was kind of like okay, we're just going to check off the box here. The Rome Odunze thing felt different because we wanted him. At least a lot of us did. The idea was to have another wide receiver for Justin Fields. And we know that Malik Neighbors was probably not going to fall. And we know that Marvin Harrison Jr. was absolutely not going to fall unless we traded up to get him. But Rome Odunze, there was a path. And people said, hey, it's not a guaranteed path, but there's a path. And as every pick went off the board, and you got closer and closer, you felt the tension rising and the anticipation. That was type of anticipation that we haven't felt. And then when the Falcons came out and said, hey, we're going to take a quarterback, even though we gave Kirk Cousins all that money, the door was open. And this is where the Bears thrived. is that, whoa, look at that.
I don't know. I did it.
Wait, did you just
I just
put your
thumbs
thumb
up.
up and
Yeah. The Pinwheels and Ivy boys figured this out a couple weeks ago. I think that you can do different things and different things happen to your screen on StreamYard. I don't know. I'm
That's
sorry.
pretty
You
cool.
were on a beautiful soliloquy and I just ruined it. I'm so sorry.
No, that's okay. That you enhanced it. You didn't ruin anything. But my whole point here was you could have easily said, you know what? We can use a few more draft assets. We'll trade back. Or, oh, we can overshot our wad. And apparently, Cunningham was the one telling Ryan Poles, just wait it out. Just wait it out. Just
Yeah.
wait it out.
Yeah, he
Which
was
is
ready to trade
huge.
up. Yeah.
Yeah. So you didn't give up any assets to get him, and you didn't miss an opportunity. You said, hey, our ideal guy, our match made in heaven is there. Don't overthink it. Don't try to play chess when you don't have to. Just take him. And they did. And
Yeah.
it doesn't seem like a big deal, but in this city, this team, it is a big deal.
Yeah. Here's what my thinking was of all of it. This was the first time the Bears took a quarterback in the draft, and literally every single person on planet Earth except for Robert Griffin III was saying, yeah, take that guy. When else have the Bears taken a quarterback and everybody was like, that was the right decision? It hasn't happened. It doesn't happen.
Well, 2017, they were going to take a quarterback. It was a matter of who.
Right. Yeah. But they got this year, they got the guy they were supposed to.
Yes.
There were that was a year where either people didn't want the Bears to take Mitch Trubisky or they didn't know who the Bears were supposed to take. This was definitive. Like, it is Caleb Williams or you're a moron. Like,
right.
And they did it. And before the draft, I think what really got me in was one of the last times Ryan Poles talked before the draft. He said, I'm sick of talking about the past, and I'm sick of that. This is a new team. This is a new regime. Like, everything that has happened before this point doesn't matter. Like, we're basically a new organization. And that's kind of what I'm doing. Like, everything from winning the Super Bowl on January 26th of 1986 to April 24th, 2024, I'm done. Like, I'm never going to talk about it again. I am right here, right now. This is a new Bears team. We're basically a expansion franchise that is new in the league. We got the first pick. I let's go. Like, I'm excited. I love that we got a quarterback. We got a wide receiver. When we took the punter, I was like, yeah, you know what? That's what winning teams do. They take punters early because they don't need anything else. And there are a couple things on defense, but I trust Matt Eberflus to be like, hey, I didn't get anybody because I trust you guys to do it. So go do it. And I trust Jalen Johnson and Jaquan Brisker and all these guys and Montez Sweat to be like, yeah, this is our defense. We're going to take care of business. So,
well, look at the move they made to get a defender.
Yeah. I mean, top 10 defense. All eyes are on the offense. Probably going to get hard knocks. We're going to England. All these primetime games. This is the first time I'm excited for people to look at the Chicago Bears, because previously I hated primetime games because I knew what was going to happen. Now I'm like, bring me primetime. I want the spotlight.
Yeah, it's crazy that we're going to be entering a summer that when Madden comes out in August, people will be racing to select the Bears and play with the Bears because of that offense that they have. And I will say that Thursday night was a night that the Bears desperately needed, because unfortunately, as I was saying, the business side is still very much the Bears, and they just stepped in it massively.
I'm not ready to talk about that yet. I'm not ready yet. They stepped more minutes.
They stepped in it massively with that botched stadium reveal. But
it was all part of the plan.
Hang on. We will get to the stadium. I promise we'll talk about the stadium. But I just need a couple more minutes of happy.
Oh no, yeah, and it goes.
Okay,
it goes
all right, yeah.
We just need, I know I'm going full meatball right now, but I've been holding it in for months because I've hated this team.
Yeah, but it goes to what we're saying. I think the football side of the Bears is headed in a very strong direction under Ryan Poles, partially because of what you said, Tommy. Ryan Poles isn't here to listen to the narratives about, oh, the Bears haven't had a quarterback since Sid Luckman. Oh, the Bears have never developed a quarterback. He's not here to cater to that type of stereotypes that surround this organization at the quarterback position. And we saw it on Thursday to where at number 9, the Bears did not waste any time. They took the clear answer
right away.
They didn't take an offensive tackle from a college none of us have ever heard of. They took the player that we knew would come in and be an instant boost for their rookie superstar quarterback.
I've never been this excited going out of a draft because we've obviously look, I was a Trubisky guy. I was excited when we drafted him. I was excited when we drafted Justin Fields, obviously. But both of those times, there was at least 50% of people saying, I don't think this was the right pick for the Bears. Now you have not a matter of percentages, but a matter of maybe 4 people on planet Earth that are like, Caleb Williams to the Bears seems kind of stupid. Everybody is like, the Bears are now a problem. Everybody's saying the Bears are now a problem. And when have we had that in our lifetimes?
I don't think ever.
06 Super Bowl,
Well, that was with a good defense.
It,
that was just with a good defense.
Right.
Now we got a top 10 defense and a quarterback who has 4 wide receivers. And we got DeAndre Swift. How many people forgot we got DeAndre Swift? Because I was sitting in the draft and I was like, holy crap, we got a running back too.
Yeah, that's what's so crazy is you look at Caleb Williams, you look at the 3 receivers, completely forgetting the fact that the Bears also signed a Pro Bowl running back that had over 1,000 yards from scrimmage last year. So this offense is going to be real good. And real quick, I know we were talking about some defensive needs. One of the undrafted free agents was Keith Randolph, the defensive tackle from Illinois. What he on his own he struggled, but when he has a complement on the defensive edge, like he did at Illinois, he was actually pretty good. I wouldn't be surprised if he sneaks onto the roster, especially if you can get Montez Sweat to get a double team on the outside. I think he could be a piece to keep an eye on.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. I agree. And, watching Illinois football, you see those kinds of little things, and I agree with you there. I hope he becomes part of this organization, and those undrafted free agents, you can find some guys in there.
There's some gold in there.
You can find it. Yeah, you can find a diamond in the rough with those. Obviously, the other pick, the local kid, the offensive lineman who tweets
one of us.
Like Tommy tweets, literally one of us, literally just like you. He was the embodiment of us on Twitter in 2020. Right. He's like, wow, I remember when that all happened. And I probably saw his tweets back then. But that was another interesting get too. It's like, all right, line depth, that's good. So, none of the picks the Bears made you slap your forehead and be like, what the hell is this? Why did we take a tight end? Why did we take, a linebacker that TJ Edwards plays that, wouldn't be more than just depth, or like, why did you draft a kicker when you got, you didn't do anything crazy like that. Everything obviously had logic within it. You couldn't F up the first pick, but you could have F'd up that 9 pick. And you did the right thing by not overthinking it by taking Rome Odunze. And I mean, what does it say when you're not really sure who your number 1 wide receiver is? Because hey,
they're
DJ
so good.
Moore could be your number 1 guy. Keenan Allen could be your number 1 guy. I think Rome Odunze is probably your 3 because he's a rookie, but he's going to make a very big impact. And you hope that this trio can stay on the field healthy through most of the season. Because here's the thing with Rome Odunze is if you don't get a guy like him, then you're very top heavy with Allen and DJ Moore. And since Allen is older, if he goes down, then it's DJ Moore. And then the next thing you know, you're at Scott and Velus Jones Jr. It drops off heavily. So this is such a big buffer to have on the team.
Yeah. All right. 2 more things and then we can talk about the stupid business. I'm meatball. I'm going full meatball. I'm all in. Like I
For
it,
the football related reasons,
yes,
it's warranted.
it's
Yeah.
not like I'm counting down
Yeah.
to August because obviously I want a summer full of Wrigley. But
Yeah. No.
it's nice to know that it's not going to be like, oh crap, it's football season. It's going to be like, hell yeah,
No. Yeah.
football season.
100%.
I forgot my 2 points, so we can just go to the stupid.
I
point.
have another.
Well,
I have a point that transitions, but Jordan, you go first.
Yeah, and I was just gonna say, I think going back to what we opened about how when Williams was first drafted by the Bears, it instantly dispelled those narratives. We're also seeing those narratives dispel within the Bears locker room, whether it was
Yeah,
DJ Moore, who's been practicing with Williams for the past month, along with Keenan Allen and Roma Dunze, or Jalen Johnson, who hopped down with Parkinson Speaks yesterday and was like, look, I saw that whole Hollywood comment gain steam, and that's not what I was saying. He was just
yeah,
responding to the question. And we're seeing this Bears team is not only rallying around Caleb Williams, but Caleb Williams is already the perfect ambassador for the Bears. There he was at courtside at the Lakers game this weekend, holding up the Bear call. The Chicago Bears quarterback was
Alex,
doing that.
Alex, no.
I'm going to drive you crazy. It's going to be so much fun.
Look. Hey, week 1, I'm painting my nails. I don't even care.
There
I'm
you
in.
go.
I'm all
There you
in.
go.
Go for
I'm
it. Go
all
for it.
in.
Go for it.
Okay. So this was all just so great for Chicago. We got a winning
was.
team, got a winning quarterback. Team's coming together. Jalen Johnson, I love him on the radio too, saying that okay, yeah, the offense got great, but the defense is still better.
Oh, yeah.
I want that rivalry in practice. I think it's
Oh,
gonna
yeah.
fuel this team. One thing I didn't like during
There
the
we go.
draft, how many presidents of football operations were on the phone with the draft picks? Do you think any of the other, like Kansas City or Philly or somebody, puts the guy who's just here to build a stadium on the phone with the draft picks?
Well, we know one thing for sure. The owner of the Falcons wasn't on the phone.
That's true.
Yeah, shout out Ryan Pace for just
I will say
He
being
did
you.
it again.
Keep
Ryan
being-
Pace
did.
did it
being you.
again.
Just keep being you. Keep being
Oh,
you.
yeah, we collaborated and blah blah blah.
Yeah.
I will say with Kevin Warren, if this does end eventually with the Bears having that entertainment district and stadium in Arlington Heights, props to you. But right now, this looks weird as hell. It
Yeah.
looks like a man. It
Terrible.
looks like a man that's trying to gear up for a political run while trying to get a stadium for a franchise in Chicago, but he's doing so by this back office politicking with the mayor, and it just looks bad. I mean, Wednesday's charade was just an embarrassment. I mean, from start to finish.
It was, I was working from home that day. It was lunchtime at noon. So I'm like, all right, I'll take my lunch break. I'll watch this. And I'm just watching. I'm like, oh, geez. I mean, I want to raise the biggest questions I have. And listen, we can talk about who's funding what. We know this question, right? Like, I mean, that's right off the bat is how much taxpayer money is going to come out of this. But, I look at the renderings always look good for a new stadium, right? Every
It's
time
very
they show
hard.
renderings,
It's very hard to lose a video of a stadium rendering. Yes.
exactly. But here are a few bullets I want to make, and I want to get your guys' reaction. So the renderings show, and people on the radio have brought this up. The renderings show that park area and the colonnades. That's all that's left of Soldier Field. It looks great. You have the kids playing. It looks great. Okay. But
There's a nice ballpark for the White Sox right there. Lovely.
Oh, don't even go there. Don't even go there.
All right. Keep going.
But the point that people made that I thought was very interesting: parks, outdoor activities. Okay. Preseason, summer, early in the season, great. What happens in November?
Mhm.
What happens in November? Well, I mean, wouldn't you think you would make more money with a bar, restaurant, shop, hotel, casino district for this kind of thing? Not to say you can't have any park space. I mean, we got Gallagher Way at Wrigley, which is utilized all year, to be fair, but you're right on the lakefront, and sure, you can have some festivals and whatnot in the winter, and you can do some things, but Wrigley Field, even with Gallagher Way and all the things they do in winter, guess what? You still have Wrigleyville. So that's kind of one thing. Obviously, we all ask the parking question, and I think that in addition to the parking, you ask, what are you going to make differences in the infrastructure around it? Are you going to make more CTA stops? Are you going to make L stations that stop off right there? It is a pain in the butt to get to Soldier Field, whether you're parking or walking or coming from the city, whatever. It's a pain. So how are you going to solve that? The other thing that just really, really got me is Kevin Warren said, we have our best interest in staying on this museum campus because that's where we played 100 years. You played half a century at the corner of Clark and Addison. George Halas won all those championships playing at Wrigley Field. I'm just saying.
It's, I mean, it started with the prayer.
Yeah.
And just, I mean, distasteful in all things. But I mean, just that was so bad. And the fact that nobody was like, maybe we shouldn't. I mean, what are we doing? And then,
right. I want to know what this congregation was thinking. Like, did you really do that?
Well, the thing is, after the amen, like it was like 3 people clapping. It was just uncomfortable. The whole thing was uncomfortable. But great point about like bars and restaurants and stuff right there, because that would make way more money than the open space. That the open space has to be, because it's on the lakefront, and the Parks and Friends or Friends of Parks, or I don't remember the name of the organization.
They ain't having it.
Yeah.
They're not having it unless it's all green space. They just want Soldier Field torn down so they can have the green space. And then the parking, nobody like, how do they not care about the parking thing? Somebody asked about the parking and they were like, but stadium, like, how are we going to get in the stadium if we can't park our cars? And the fact that they think that they were going to be able to build this in 3 years and like tear down the only parking lot that they have, that's hilarious. They didn't think about it. Like, I don't know if it was truly a play to get back into Arlington Heights, or if they're dead serious about this. Either way, they look like morons. And
I think they're serious about it, but Arlington Heights is still on the table more than we think.
Yeah,
that's
and look, and I'm full meatball at the, like, I will admit the full meatballness of, I hate that the Bears are about to play indoors, but I understand that the Bears are about to play indoors. I get it. I know it's going to happen. I've accepted it. I've accepted it, and I'm moving on with my life, because we'll get Super Bowls, we'll get Final Fours, we'll get all the things. I'm over it.
Well, and to your point about the parking, you can't use Wrigley Field as an example, because there is a massive difference between a Major League stadium and a modern day National Football League stadium, especially if you're planning to host Super Bowls and Final Fours and more year-round concerts.
Yeah. Well, it's a completely different situation. Yes.
And here's the problem. I mean, we're talking about hosting Super Bowls. Kevin Warren was asked about the approximate fan capacity that it would hold for Bears games, and he put it at 65,000, which, sure, the NFL would likely offer the Bears an exception to the 75,000 capacity rule for the Super Bowl. But the fact that it's 2024, you're building a new stadium, and rather just go over the minimum deadline of 70,000, you're still willingly choosing a stadium that's going to be among
and
the
you're
smallest
about
in the
to
NFL.
be good for a decade plus. You think you can't get 90,000 of us morons
You're in
there?
Chicago regardless.
Right.
You're not in Milwaukee.
If Soldier Field still held 100,000 people when the Bears were dirt, they would still have 100,000 people in there, because we're idiots.
Yeah.
That's just how
Yeah.
it goes.
Yeah.
And the whole thing was so bad. And I would love the Bears to stay in downtown Chicago, but there is no way possible for them to stay in downtown Chicago. They have to go to Arlington Heights. If they want to do anything smart about anything, they have to go to Arlington Heights. That's where the money is. That's where the room is to be able to do all these things with restaurants and bars and casinos and stuff. That's their only hope.
Yeah.
You can't do it here.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Honestly, after Thursday, I think we should just let Ryan Poles handle the stadium project too, because it sounds like Ryan Poles knows how to get stuff done.
He'll tear it down and build it up quick. Let me tell you.
Right.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
He'll trade the stadium for a couple second round picks, and then we'll be able to build up for a new one. I mean, I think that's how it would obviously go.
And the funding of it was just a mess too, because they're like, well, we're not raising any taxes. It was like, that doesn't matter. You still are not, you still don't have the money, or you do have the money, but you want us to still pay for it.
Exactly.
It's just, I mean, it's just a mess. It's just a mess.
Yeah.
So any more Bears?
But you know what? Here's a point to make is, this is kind of interesting. Even if this whole stadium thing is a fiasco, did you guys ever pay attention to like those report cards that came out from the players that evaluate their own team, their own franchise, and like how it's run and everything?
Yeah.
You know, the Chiefs are like one of the worst scored ones.
Oh yeah.
So, you know, their franchise infrastructure is shit, but you know what? They're probably the best professional sports team in America right now because of what's on the field. So win on the field and everything else will be fine.
They take care of, you know, Mahomes and Kelsey and Reed and like the big players. But
and that's what it is. It's winning. If you win on the field, all this other stuff just becomes a side conversation. Like, we're talking, say the Bears are a playoff team next year. We're talking about, okay, we made it to the playoffs. What's the next step to get us to the Super Bowl? Then we would probably spend 2-3 minutes on the stadium tops. But because of how bad the football team has been, this is all we had to talk about. But bringing it back for a circle, it sounds like the football team is getting us in that direction with the moves that were done at the draft.
What do you think? A little more angle? Show a little bit more.
I think a little bit more anger. Oh yeah,
you don't want to. You don't want to. You want to. You want to see some nail. You know,
right there, maybe a little up.
Claws up, people.
Yeah, that's about it.
For those of you listening to the podcast, which, by the way, apparently we haven't been posting the podcast for like a month. My bad. That will hopefully be fixed now. So if you missed the live show and you can only do the listening part, we'll have that ready for you. But you won't be able to see me clawing up because it claws up.
See, what would be fun is if you go back to our first couple episodes, listen to Tommy's misery talking about the Bears football team compared to his complete jubilation.
Look, I
ride 180 over a few months.
I ride the waves with this team. I am not. I do not shy away from being the meatball. I'm okay with it. This is the life I've chosen to live. This is why I moved up here. Like, I want to be the meatball. So, Bears are back. No, the Bears are not back. I take that back. The Bears are new. The good news Bears. Claws up. Let's talk Cubby baseball.
Cade Horton, Iowa.
First place Chicago Cubs, which are happening as we speak. They're in the 5th inning. It is tied 1-1. And this team has yet to be at full strength health.
It's ridiculous how many
Justin Steele, no Seiya Suzuki, no Cody Bellinger. Jameson Taillon was gone for a while.
Julian Merriweather was out.
Jordan Wicks was out for a long time. Jordan Wicks. I'm blanking on the name of the pitcher that we got in the Chris Bryant trade with Canario.
Oh,
Caleb Killian.
Caleb Killian. He's gone.
Out.
He's out. This team is in first place of a division that they should win handily. And we have not seen this team at full strength. So pray for this leak when this team gets to full strength. Because if you're talking about bringing up Cade Horton into a rotation with a pretty good ERA already, They just need a little bit more length, Jameson Tyone out of his mind right now. How about last night?
That was
just
huge.
cruising.
To not
That was
only pitch
massive,
great,
yeah.
but to eat all those innings, that was big.
I mean, incredible. Javier Assad, we're seeing it again tonight. Just gets out. He just gets out.
You
And
can't take him out of the rotation.
no,
I
and
mean,
Shota
yeah.
Imanaga is only fighting for Rookie of the Year with Michael Busch. Like this team.
Yeah. It's a
Yeah,
good team.
Shota Minaga's been special.
Incredible.
Yeah.
He's been incredible.
It's a fun team. And it's truly going to be exciting when, like you said, they get Steele back, they get Belger back, they get Saya back, who was playing at an MVP level before he got hurt. There's reinforcements coming. It sounds like the first one is going to be Cade Horton, maybe as early as the end of May. There's Matt Shaw, who's not going to be far behind. There's Owen Casey, who's not going to be far behind. Whether it's promoting those top prospects or using some of those pieces for that legitimate closer at the back of the bullpen, this team is going to be dangerous this summer.
And how cool has it been that everybody that has come up has had success? Ben Brown comes up. He was shaky at first,
pitching
but
wise,
he's been doing really well. Yeah, pitching wise, that's what I meant. Hayden Wesneski, dude. Keegan Thompson, dude.
Looks really good.
Like, yeah, I mean, even
that's what's most. If Keegan is a dude again, that changes the dynamic of that bullpen because now not only do you have Ben Brown in there who can be a bulk reliever, but you have Keegan now that can go 2 innings per outing and truly shut down an opposing offense.
Yeah.
As we've seen him do so far. Yeah.
Yeah. And how about Hayden Wesneski getting short notice? Like, hey, you're gonna go out and start at Fenway Park. And a couple hiccups, but he really did just fine for himself.
Yeah, he kind of got a little bit of bad luck. There was some
and he knows,
but he held his composure and he got out.
He did.
Like he did great.
Kept him in the game.
Yeah,
with Wisniewski, I think it might be just as simple as Counsell keeping him informed on what his role is, how he's going to be used.
Yeah.
If you look back last year, how David Ross used Hayden Wisniewski after his rough patch in the starting rotation to begin the season, there was no plan. There was no blueprint. Ross would either throw him out there, eat up a couple innings in a mop-up game, or then try him in a high leverage spot. But it seems like Counsell has been very calculated with how he's used Wisniewski, whether it was a spot start, whether it's finding a spot in a game where he can come in, get 6 outs. It's been super cool to see Counsell build that relationship with the pitching staff because we're seeing what made him successful in Milwaukee. He's able to connect with his pitcher so that he knows what level to pull at the game to get the outs that he needs.
Yeah, for sure. And I feel like Wisniewski's not. He looks calmer and more confident, like he's not trying to do too much because you can tell when he was overthinking and then things would just kind of go awry.
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully he keeps that up because, like you said, him and Keegan being in those roles, being able to go multiple innings and in like higher leverage situations, that's really, really big because that's been key in several wins over the past few weeks. And I think that Counsell is trying to maximize that value as best he can. And, we've seen, over the past week or so, we're actually seeing our starters go deeper into games. Like we mentioned, Jameson Tyone went the deepest any starter has. We've been getting 6 innings from Shota Imanaga. That's been good to see. And, Javier Assad, he'll give you those 80 pitches and then things will kind of turn after that, but he can still give you, 5 or 6 innings there. So getting a bit more length out of the starters lately has been really, really good to see because early on we weren't getting it at all, whether it was too many pitches or obviously like the injury to Steele, and the bullpen really had to work hard.
Yeah. Bullpen has had to work hard. Jordan Wicks, his last start, also went 6 innings.
That's what makes his injury so unfortunate because it was the best start of his season.
Yeah.
So that hurt. Also, the other piece of the Michael Busch trade, Almonte, he had a rough start, but last couple of times he's been on the mound.
Yeah.
No complaints, quite honestly.
Good stuff. He just has to command it better. And
right.
You could say that about a number of the relievers, including our closer, Hector Neris.
Guys, thanks for getting the saves, but you should have gotten this. I went to the game, the Thursday game, the Verlander game against the Astros, and who came in? Hayden Wesneski came in, pitched maybe 2 innings, maybe a little more than 2 innings, 19 pitches, outs.
Yep.
Hector Neris had 19 pitches to the first 2 batters, and he walked both of them. Like that.
Yeah,
That's what it's like watching Hector Neris try to get a save.
yeah.
I want to rewind to the first week of the season when I said I was filing away my concerns on Hector Neris until later in the season. My concerns are only getting bigger because 1, it's the command, 2, the dip in velocity, 3, he's throwing flat. I mean,
the
there's
fact
no
that he's
movement.
the fact that he's throwing in the dirt and like ball after ball after ball, and then he's trash talking Pete Alonso on second base. Like, just pitch the ball, dude.
Yeah, so that's why I mean, it's a little bit early, but if we're going to circle, like, what's the big move Jed is going to make in July? I think it's trying to get that closer that can come in and have a similar impact that Chapman did. Maybe not to the magnitude of the Chapman trade that it was in 2016, but you can still go out there, whether it's on Miami, whether it's Mason Miller from Oakland, you could find yourself a closer, not only for this season, but potentially multiple seasons, especially if it's Mason Miller. Yeah.
Mason Miller.
He's under control.
Kenley Jansen, maybe, he would be nice.
And I would
sign him in the offseason.
I honestly would keep an eye on the Red Sox because with Craig Breslow there, I think there's going to be a match. And we saw it today. Craig Breslow is going to target his guys. The White Sox traded Bailey Horn to the Red Sox today. So I think Breslow is going to keep an eye on pitchers in the Cubs organization that he doesn't want to bring to Boston. So if we get to the point where Boston falls out of contention, I think that's probably a team to keep an eye on.
That's another team that just can't seem to stay healthy, honestly, too. So, well, let's talk a little bit about the other side of town here. They swept the Tampa Bay Rays. That was
Tommy
wild.
Pham making a difference.
Andrew Benintendi. How about that? 2 home run game.
He woke up.
He woke up.
He realized, hey, I'm the highest paid White Sox player ever.
Frank Thomas, Paul Canero,
John Triffin calling out the haters.
Carlton Fisk, all these guys that got paid less than Andrew Benintendi. Yeah, the announcer thing is crazy to me. It's crazy to me. It's
weak.
You know what? He's getting excited. He's giving you a reason to get excited for this team, and everybody's just crapping on him. I don't know.
It's almost like we're seeing.
It is cheesy, but like he cares.
I would say it's almost like we're seeing the 2024 origin story of the next Hawk for the White Sox. Because I think Strifford is going, if the White Sox ever get good, then I think Sox fans are going to love him because
then they're gonna make him the general manager and he's gonna fire everybody.
Oh yeah, because he's 100% a homer, and I can see why Jerry probably hit the stamp of approval because he's not going to say anything bad about the White Sox. Yeah, that call over the weekend was just a little weird. I was like, okay, maybe don't put the
excitement. Well, the excitement was cool, but the haters thing I thought was a little odd.
It was a lot, but he was amped up. This team hadn't won in weeks.
Right.
Like he was just excited. I support him. I support him.
Oh, I think, to be fair, I do think the hate he gets is a little bit misguided because I think people are.
It's unfair.
Yeah, and it's very
not fair.
It's very subjective who he was talking to too. Like, is he?
Exactly.
Haters of the White Sox, haters of him, haters of them doing well, haters of them doing bad, like
haters of the campfire milkshake.
Yeah, there's a lot of different factors, but you can tell he has his dream job.
Oh yeah,
a team that he grew up rooting for. Like, it's cool. It's a cool story. I'm happy for him. If he wants to get excited, that's why they hired him to do whatever he wanted to on the broadcast.
And Lord knows the White Sox fans needed something to get excited about.
Yeah, he's giving you something to be excited about. Like,
and there's a chance that 5 years from now we're going to look back at that call in a similar sense of when Len called Aramis' walk-off, where you
Yeah.
just have that excitement come out from
Yeah.
a younger announcer.
Yeah. Well, and then you got the hawk, like you can put it on the board. And even
I will say I do miss
even
Hawk, especially when he was going after the umpires, because there was very few like him where he would just be sitting in the booth, just going off on the ump.
What in
Yeah.
the hell are you doing?
Right.
he gone. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, Hawk games were fun. My grandma was a huge White Sox fan.
Well, that's what they were saying. If the White Sox were smart, just one game this year, they would just have Hawk come in, give him the Smirnoff, and just let him call the game.
Let
It
him
would be
win.
must.
Well, it's like when
Right.
Benetti did the couple broadcasts with what's his face from UCLA, basketball
Bill
guy,
Walton, right?
Bill
Yeah.
Walton. Yeah,
yeah,
I mean,
that was fun.
I stayed up for late for that one. Like I
Oh,
was
yeah.
dog tired. I was like, I can't miss this.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was fun. And I remember Hawks' last game because it was against the Cubs in 2018.
Yep.
It was that
Yep.
Cubs Sox series in September in 2018, and that was it. And I thought that there would be a time in between then and now where Hawk would be back in the booth and some not as a job, but like as a guest or something. And I don't think
Right.
he has.
No, I don't
He
think
hasn't,
he.
no,
I
yeah.
don't think he has. Yeah, it's probably at what is it, Seven Rivers over there?
Yeah,
His golf
right.
club.
Yeah.
Speaking of golf, this is insane. So you guys are familiar with the Live Tour.
Yes.
It's that's where all the people are making bajillions of dollars to go play 3 rounds of golf a week.
Saudi Arabia's
Correct,
got
yes.
unlimited pockets.
It was announced today that they're going to hold their individual championship for Live, like the individual player championships for Live Golf at Bolingbrook Golf Club.
What?
I'm not kidding.
Really?
You can play Bolingbrook Golf Club for like $55.
And the Live Golf, that's like bajillions that are paying
Right.
their
Yes,
golfers
yes.
more
They're not
money
only-
than we can comprehend.
They're not only playing there, they're holding their championship there.
Yeah,
Wow.
that's crazy.
Isn't that insane?
Well, I bet
No.
Barrington Golf Course is gonna be jumping for that.
Like
Jeez.
my brother-in-law and a couple friends of mine, we're going to play Bolingbrook for my birthday. Like that
Nice.
was like that's a big thing for us. Like, whoa, $60 round of
Right.
golf, like that's a big deal. This is
Yeah.
probably where high schools have like local like championships, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Live golf. I'm gonna scout the course for Brooks Koepka.
There you go.
Insane. Anyways, there's a little golf tangent for you. Talk Sox. Cubs are back. Bears are here. Any Blackhawks updates for us, Alex?
Well, we're gonna be having the lottery very soon.
May 2nd,
So,
right?
Yep, in just a few days. We got to keep an eye out for that. Connor Bedard is no surprise a Calder finalist.
Why is
And
anybody else in the running for that?
Well,
Just give him the trophy.
you got to have a competition, right?
There's no competition.
No,
He got a hat trick, right?
not quite.
Oh,
Close.
damn it.
Close a few times, but no cigar, unfortunately. But hey, he scored more than 20 goals and like 60 plus points
Yeah,
as an
he was-
18-year-old, and he missed a month.
Yeah, he was electric.
He was electric.
I mean, with the team that was so bad, he was
nothing around him.
He was must-see television.
Yeah,
Must-see television.
exactly.
So, yeah, I'm excited for the future. Obviously, I joke about the Hawks and I joke with Alex, but I am very excited for the future of the Hawks. Couple of the extensions that they signed, very cool. Connor Bedard's going to be here for forever. It's if there was ever a time to get on the bandwagon, now would be the time.
Yeah, and you listen to Kyle Davidson talk, and he's very, okay, we got to take the next step here. No more bottoming out, no more tanking, no more playing for the first overall pick. So they're not going to become playoff contenders necessarily next year, but we're looking at a next step forward. We're not going to be looking at a chance at a top 3 pick.
Yeah, but also like a couple of those games, they swing a couple ways. Then you find yourself battling for the last seed in the playoffs. Like it happens. It happens. It happens.
Are you saying next year if they get better? Or are you talking about this past year?
No. I'm saying next year.
Okay.
This year
I
was-
thought
Oh,
you
yeah,
meant
next
this
year
past
for
year.
sure.
I'm
No,
like,
this
this
year-
year,
I was
that's
gonna
like,
say-
No. This past year was terrible, but you get a couple more guys in there, right? bounce around a little bit. Some of those 4-2 losses turn into 3-3 overtime games.
Yeah.
It could happen.
It's just the tough thing is that your division, you got the
Oh, it's
Avalanche,
bad.
you got the
It's bad.
Stars, you got the Wild, you got the Predators, all good
Yeah.
teams.
Yeah. I
All
will
good
say in October, I picked the Stanley Cup champion, the Vancouver Canucks, looking pretty good.
They are
There you
looking
go.
good.
Looking
We
Yeah,
pretty
could get a
there you go.
rematch in
There you go.
1994.
How about that comeback on, what was that, Saturday or Sunday? They were down 3-1,
Yep.
empty net, and they came back and won in overtime. I love that it was the
Crazy.
Predators too. Just
Yep.
love it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Well, boys, Bears.
I think they're back.
I
think
hope they're back.
Yeah, we haven't got an hour yet. What else can we talk about?
I was just gonna say, if you're a Bulls fan, keep an eye because they're going to. I'm not saying optimism, far from optimism, but
Okay.
this team is going to have to trade Zach LaVine this summer, and it's going to have to be for a bad contract. There's a couple of disgruntled stars across the league that might match up. It's going to be a headache for a headache type trade, but
Do you think we can involve zoo animals in the trades?
nah, that'd be exciting though.
I mean, what if we offered like one of our dolphins from
From Brookfield Zoo.
Yeah, what if we offered
Right.
a dolphin? Will you please
That'd be
take
fun.
Zach if we also give you a dolphin?
That'd be fun. I
Worth
mean,
trying, I guess. And we
like
won't
I
know
said,
until you try.
it'll be a headache for a headache, but there's other headaches out there that are a better fit
Yeah.
for the style of basketball that the Bulls
Did you
play.
see that Did you see that the Lakers are going to stay bad for forever? Because
Dude.
they said that they want to extend LeBron and then they're going to draft Bronny.
Oh
I don't know
boy.
why anyone would draft Bronny. Bronny's a terrible player.
He's not
I mean,
good.
he averaged under 5 points coming off the bench for a USC team that didn't even make the NIT tournament. And now LeBron is going, whether it's the Lakers or a different NBA team, LeBron is going to hold an NBA team hostage because he wants to stay in the league until he has a couple years to play with his son, which it could come as soon as this summer if Bronny gets drafted. But any team that takes him is just wasting a draft pick.
LeBron is, I mean, he's still good at basketball.
Well, that's what I say. I
But
wouldn't say wasting a draft
he
pick
is-
because you
he
have
is
LeBron who's
just-
still playing insane. But
He's just a cancer, kind of, Everywhere he
Yeah.
goes, the coaching is bad because the coaching's not allowed to coach.
and he's essentially a GM too.
Correct.
Yeah. I tell you what though, that Denver Nuggets team is fun. Watching
Yeah.
them watching them dismantle the Lakers again. I'm like, wow.
I enjoyed myself watching that. Quite
Yeah,
frankly.
and it's always so fun because like I don't watch Nikola Jokic as much as I should, but every time I watch him, it's just like playing basketball is such an inconvenience for him, but he's so
good.
at it,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
I
like he
gotta be
hates-
away from my
Yes.
horses. I gotta play this
Exactly.
game
Yeah,
and make
it's like he
millions of
hates it,
dollars.
but he's so good at it that he has to. It's like us
Right.
doing like accounting jobs. Except he plays in the NBA. Yeah.
Exactly.
And makes a lot more than the average.
Oh
accountant.
yeah. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. It's insane.
Yeah.
Speak-
and Go
I
ahead.
was just gonna say, speaking of not watching people as much as you should, very sad Mike Trout news.
Yeah.
Torn meniscus.
Yeah. And I was hoping this was going to be the year that, the Angels actually didn't move him to a contender so we could at least see Mike Trout in the postseason. But with this injury, it's probably not going to happen.
Yeah.
I would
don't
still
think
trade
so.
for him. I mean, we don't need
I
him.
mean,
We don't need him.
oh yeah, no, yeah. I wasn't even talking from like a Cubs perspective. I was talking from like
Philly.
I thought Philly.
Can you
for sure
imagine
would probably
if
keep an
Philly
eye
goes
on.
and gets him?
Yeah,
That
yeah,
town
but,
would erupt.
yeah, it's just in my writing.
What is happening?
There you go.
What did I do?
In my
You
writing?
sure
chat,
you're not touching something back there?
I didn't touch a thing.
Yeah. In my group chat, my buddies, everyone's like, "Oh, Trout is kind of like that Griffey Jr. now, where like he just can't stay healthy for a season despite how talented
How much
he
is that as him versus the Angels?
Uh,
They
Yeah,
don't seem like they fund a lot of things that they probably should fund over there.
Their
true.
doctor is like an 1800s doctor with leeches. All right, Mike,
Right.
come on, sit down. You just got a bucket full of leeches. All right, here you go.
Right.
Sit still.
But yeah, that I don't know.
It made me
Yeah.
sad because Mike Trout is so good at baseball, and
Yeah. Mhm.
and we already are losing some privileges just by him playing in Los Angeles, and we don't get to like watch him all the time. But
Yeah.
it's
On a
just
team that's irrelevant, and
Well, yeah,
especially
that's the
since you
thing. If
lost
he was
Mike Trout.
playing,
Or
yeah, I
no,
mean, we're seeing,
you lost Soy Otani.
yeah, we're
Yeah.
seeing with Shohei. I mean, if you play in Los Angeles with the Dodgers, you're a superstar.
You're in the spotlight 24/7.
Yeah.
Right. But yeah, it's just it sucks to see. Also, big MLB news. We'll get into uniform fixes next year. That's gonna be
yeah. How
nice.
crazy is that?
So we have to
Yeah.
go through a whole season of
Right.
this, but at
It
least
was-
we know it's on the horizon.
It was such an MLB announcement, like, "Hey, we're finally fixing this issue, but it won't be until."
I
the start
mean,
of next
they
year."
completely threw Nike under the bus, which is
Oh, yeah.
hilarious.
But I mean, it's part of the course for Rob Manfred. Anything to deflect the blame to anybody else but him and the owners.
He's just. I've never known somebody hate the thing so much that they're paid to promote. It's
I know.
insane.
It's crazy, and
But
the
you know
number
what's
of
gonna be-
measures to try to fix something that's not broken.
But you
not
know
even
what's going to be
security.
crazy and could very well be like his parting gift is if he ends the MLB blackout restrictions because essentially because of the devil that they created with some of these TV deals. But it seems like we're trending towards the blackout restrictions, whether it's next year or 2 years from now, coming to an end. Which
They have
would be
to.
a-
That's how
which
you
would be a
fix the
godsend
game,
for
not
base-
You have-
Well,
pitching change limits
Yeah.
and
Yeah, I
visiting
mean,
limits.
you have to promote your stars, and baseball just doesn't do that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's annoying. It's really annoying. I will say I am kind of worried, and whenever the next collective bargaining agreement ends, apparently,
Oh, it's gonna be a strike.
supposed to get
It's
super
yeah,
nasty.
Yeah, it's gonna be a strike, 100%.
Yeah.
So that's gonna be sad.
We were lucky to
Yeah.
avoid a longer lockout the last time, but
I know.
this next time is going to
Yeah,
be.
I mean, we're already seeing it with how they're handling the pitcher injuries this year. That it is going to be a strike.
Yeah, it's gonna be bad.
But Roger Goodell floating out there that the NFL might move to an 18-game schedule, two preseason games, but Super Bowl would fall on President's Day weekend.
Yeah, but the players are
which means
saying
we
that
have
they
Monday off, which means we could just enjoy the Bears in the Super Bowl without having to worry about going to work the next day.
Here's the thing. If you want Monday after Super Bowl off, just don't go to work. Problem solved. But
Yeah.
That's what I did. I mean,
Yeah.
the last 2
I mean,
years, I
yeah.
took the day after
yeah.
the Super Bowl
Mhm.
off.
yeah, either pre-plan and take it off yourself, or just don't go.
Yeah, you know what's crazy? Each year, like January, once my PTO resets, the very first day I take off is the day after the Super Bowl. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't drink anymore, but it's still I don't want to deal with going.
You're
back
still
to
gonna be
work
up late
after the
because
camaraderie. Yeah,
Exactly.
mhm,
yeah.
exactly. Yeah.
So and then the players there were a couple players that tweeted out saying that if you're gonna do that, then we deserve 2 bye weeks. And that would just
Oh yeah.
that would blow everything up too. So sure, sounds great, but I think we're pretty far away from that happening.
I
Yeah.
think so. Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I wouldn't mind having 2 bye weeks and a 17 game season. And, everyone kind of has their bye weeks around the same time. I know the
Yeah.
NFL wouldn't like that because that's lost revenue in a week, but you can have, hey, let's say weeks 5 or 6, half the team has their first bye, and then the next week the other half has their bye. And then let's say you have another bye week after, I don't know, week 14.
You know what would be awesome is if the NFL and college football came together and figured something out where conference championship weekend, NFL, there's a built-in bye week for every single team, and just no NFL for that week, kind of like the All-Star break.
Yeah, that's a
And
long
we
weekend.
have
Yeah.
conference championship games all week long.
Yeah,
Bam.
no,
And
that'd be
then we
fun.
move on with the NFL.
That would be cool, but the NFL would never
They'll-
want to go
no,
a full
they'll-
week without games.
Yeah, I
They'll
mean,
never do it.
for as cool as it sounds, the NFL is actually trending in the opposite direction, and they want to play as many days as possible. We're going
Yeah.
to
We're going to
see it-
Wednesdays.
Well, and that's what we're going to see it. I mean, we're seeing it with this upcoming season. Like you said, those are Wednesdays for the Christmas game. But the very first week of the season, there's going to be the opening game on Thursday night, the Packers and Eagles in Brazil on Friday night, the regular slate of games on Saturday, and then the Monday night game. So the NFL is trying to make it a week-long experience, and I'm sure they eventually will accomplish that goal.
It would
Oh,
be,
yeah, for sure. They'll
it
find a
would
way.
be just such a shame if the Packers plane just got stuck in Brazil and they had to stay down there for, I don't know, 6 months. That would stink. That would
Totally
just stink.
realistic.
If they had to drive back to Green Bay from Brazil, that would be
Well,
the worst.
Speaking of the Packers and bringing it back to how we opened, Caleb Williams is not afraid to respond to the haters, to respond to criticism. So I can't
No, he's
wait
not.
to finally have that quarterback on the Bears that did the same shit Aaron Rodgers did, where Aaron Rodgers would go in the end zone, score a touchdown, and then talk his stuff to Bears fans.
Yeah.
I want that with Caleb Williams, and I
So
think we
do
have
I.
that. Yeah.
So do I.
It's gonna
It's
be
long overdue
awesome.
for us.
It's
Yeah.
gonna be awesome. And Roma Dunze already said that the color green makes him puke.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah. Oh,
right.
yeah. Yeah, we're back.
Claws up.
All right.
No,
That's gonna be the title. Claws up.
that's the title. Claws up.
It's hard with this background. It kind of overcomes it here.
Well,
Yeah.
You did that to yourself. Next week, I would like the background to be a picture of you clawing.
Christ almighty.
Oh no, I'm
Alzolay
behind
just
you.
gave up a 3-run bomb to some dude. Oh my God.
Yeah,
That
so
went to
he
the
should-
third deck.
Oh my god,
Wow.
he
That's
hit
enough
that.
of that.
He hit that to Kingdom Come.
Yeah.
Jeez.
So
Anyways,
both
Bears
of
are
them.
back.
Claws up.
First place for the 24 hours we had it was so much fun. What was
Yeah,
your-
that might
what
end
was-
tonight because the Brewers are winning.
What was
Yeah.
your favorite part of first place?
That we were in first place for a little bit.
The friends we made along the way.
The friends we made along the way. Shout out Cody. Yeah, that I guess that's the show. I'm really excited. Bears are back. This Cubs team is good despite what Alzolay just did, and Chicago is my favorite place to be on planet Earth. I would never want to be anywhere else than here.
Yeah, and I mean, to wrap it up, the superstars we have coming to the city. We have Connor Bedard already. Caleb Williams is here. Angel Reese is here. It's a fun time to be
Angel
a Chicago
Reese.
sports fan. Yeah.
We forgot to talk about Angel Reese.
Shout
Angel
out
Reese
Harold.
open invite to the show.
Anytime.
Yes,
Anytime.
please.
We don't just throw invites out to anybody. Angel Reese gets an invite. Not
Yep.
Caitlin Clark. That's for damn sure.
No, we stay in Angel Reese now.
Yes.
Damn right. Damn right.
What happens if we get Angel Reese to start clawing?
Well,
Alex
then
has
the
to be
world
the
is
man.
in trouble, man.
If we get Angel Reese to start clawing, will you start clawing, Alex?
Sure. But you might not see it because the background's going to cover it.
True.
Fine. All right. Thanks, boys. Thank you, everybody, for listening.
Yeah,
Perhaps a podcast out for you. We'll see.
we'll see.
Oh, technology. All right. Thank you. Let's go for another Cubs comeback tonight. Yeah.
That sounds
Yeah.
good.
My goodness, that was
Yeah.
a